Hi, this is Ginger from My Sister Scrapper. Welcome back to part 2 of our video tutorial series on the file folder mini album. So in the first part we created our file folder pages, we covered our chipboard, and we made our hinge, and we attached our hinge to our book. So what we're going to do next is we're going to make the two pockets that go on the inside front cover and the inside back cover. And for that you're going to need 2 sheets of your matching cardstock that measure 4.5 inches by 7. So you're going to need 2 of those, one for each side. And then we're also going to make our pockets for our file folders that go on the front of each page section. You're going to need 6 of those, and those are going to measure 3 inches by 9.25. And again, we're going to score on 1/2 inch on 3 sides and leave one long edge unscored. So we'll do the 2 pockets first. Again, they're 4.5 by 7. We're going to score 1/2 inch on 3 sides, so grab your scoreboard. Put it in here with the 7 inches across the top, and we're going to score 1/2 inch on 3 sides. Now you're probably thinking, what was I doing? Sometimes it's easier for me to score my 1/2 inch this way. So if my piece is 7, I'll just score at 6.5. And then to get my 1/2 inch here, I would score at 4 and then score at 6.5. It's just easier for me to score on the right-handed side than it is over here because I'm right-handed. But same measurements, 1/2 inch on 3 sides. So now we're going to get our 6 pieces that measure 3 by 9.25, and we're going to score those since we got the scoreboard out. Again, 1/2 inch on 3 sides. We're going to start right here with the 9.25 along the top, and I'm going to score 1/2 inch, which would be 8 3/4. 2.5 and 8 3/4. So we've left the one long edge not scored. This is going to make our pocket on the front of our pages, so do that to all 6 of your pieces of paper. Okay, so we got all 6 of our long skinny pockets scored. We're done with our scoreboard. Now we're going to go ahead and add our pockets to our front covers. So go ahead and take your pockets, flip them over, and if you want to do a decorative punch along the top edge, you can do that now. And the one I'm going to use for this book is the one I used in the Christmas Carol book, and it's the Apron Lace by Fiskars. This was the original one I bought. Well, they've changed them now. Now they're orange and white, but it's the same punch. It's called Apron Lace. So I'm going to put that in there. And you know what? I think I'm going to put my... No, I'm not going to put my score tape on first. Okay. Just never mind. So I'm going to place that in there, and I'm going to punch. Now you can continue to go to the outside edge, but that's just my tab that's going to fold under, so I'm just going ahead and trim it off with my scissors because nobody's going to see that. So I'm going to do the other one. Again, we're punching the long edge that's not scored. Now I want the same edge on my long pockets, so I'm going to go ahead and punch those as well. I like to start in the center when I'm using a border punch, just so I have the same amount on both sides. I know that sounds kind of dorky, but that's how I like to do it. Okay, so we got all of our pockets punched. Now we're going to go ahead and add our score tape and create our pockets. So again, since I have 1/2 inch flaps, I'm going to go ahead and use the 3/8 of an inch score tape. And add it to our long pockets as well. Okay, we're going to go ahead and varnish our score tape and fold on all of our score lines. Now, as you know, when you're making pockets, you want to go ahead and trim your corners, and I just take them and cut them at an angle like this. Like this. So do that to all your pockets. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing to the two pockets that we created for our inside front and back covers. So go ahead and grab your front covers. Decide what you want to be the front and the back. And go ahead and take the backing off of your score tape, and we're going to put our pocket down. And your pocket is going to fit about 1/8 of an inch away from the bottom. So it should be centered left and right. It almost fits. It gives you about 1/8 of an inch border all the way around. Okay, so go ahead and take the backing off and stick that pocket down. Okay, now you're probably saying, well, shouldn't I have put my paper here first? You can if you want. However, when I make pockets, I like to put my pocket on first, and then I like to slide my paper in. That way it covers up my hinges, so nothing gets stuck, and you don't see that. All you see is design paper. That's how I like to do it. So go ahead and put the back one on, same way. Line it up exactly the same way as you did the front one. Okay. So now we have our front and back pockets on. Now we're going to go ahead and set that aside and get our pages out that we made, our file folder pages. And what we're going to do is we're going to put these pockets on the front only, so which is the short tab side. We're going to go ahead and make our pockets, and we're going to put them right on here, and they should just fit. We're going to put it flush to the bottom, and top and bottom and to the side. So they're going to go on just like this. And again, I like to put my pockets on first and then slide my design paper in. It doesn't need to go all the way down, just enough, half an inch or so, to cover up the tabs. So go ahead and add the first pocket here. So go ahead and do the next one. Again, we're adding the pocket to the short side, so this is going to be the front of our page, and it's going to open up on the inside. So we want our pocket on the front section. We don't want any pockets on the inside, otherwise they won't fold right. They won't lay flat because we don't have a gusset in here. So go ahead and do this to all 6 of your pages. Okay, so we got all of our pockets on the front section of our pages, and there's a corner I forgot to round, so I'm going to do that really quick. Okay. So now put your pages in order how you want them to be in your book. You can do top, middle, bottom. You can do bottom, middle, top, however or you want to put them in. But to stay consistent, I'm going to do the top one first. Then my second page will be a middle tab, and then my third page will be a bottom tab. And then I'm just going to repeat that and do top, middle, and bottom. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to cut our design paper that's going to go on our pages. I'm going to give you the measurements for everything except for your pocket, because that depends on what border punch that you use. You'll need to adjust your measurements, which is really easy. All you need to do is just get your ruler out and measure it. So, but I will give you the measurements. They will all be the same for the rest of the pages. So what you're going to need is since our pages are 8 1/4, we want a little, I like to leave a border all the way around. That's why I'm using the 8 by 8 paper pad. We are going to have our first measurement, which is going to be what's going to go on the inside of my pocket. That measurement is going to be 4 inches by 8 inches. So you're going to need 6 pieces that are that size. And again, those are going to go right in here, hopefully not upside down like that. But I don't want to leave my tab plain. I want my tab decorated. So we're going to use our envelope punch board again, and we're going to go ahead and punch that. But let me give you the measurements for all the papers you're going to need. You're going to need 6 pieces that are 4 inches by 8. So if you're using the 8 by 8 paper pad, you can just cut it in half, 4 inches, and that'll give you 2. And then the piece then when you take your page and fold it over, the page that's going to go here is going to need to be 5 inches by 8 inches. And then the piece that's going to go on here is going to be 5 1/2 by 8. So again, we're going to need 6 pieces that are 4 by 8. We're going to need 6 pieces that are 5 by 8. And then we're going to need pieces for this back page, which are, we're going to need more of those because there's a front and a back and they're both the same size. So you're going to need 12 pieces of that are going to be 5 1/2. 5 1/2 by 8 will fit on this pocket, or this page, and this back side. Okay, so go ahead and get your papers cut. Again, you're going to need 6 pieces that are 4 by 8, 6 pieces that are 5 by 8, and 12 pieces that are 5 1/2 by 8. So, grab your first page, which for me is my top page. And I'm going to take my paper, decide what paper you want. I think I will start out with this border print here. And this is a top file, so we're going to go ahead and punch our top file. Now, because our design papers are 1/4 inch smaller than our pages, our measurements are going to be different on our punch board. Okay, so the first thing you want to do, your page is going to go in, this is the front, it's going to go in just like this. We want to punch our file right here. So we're going to put this top edge in. We're going to stick it in our scoreboard, and we're going to put it at 2 7/8. So line that edge up at 2 7/8. Punch, and just like we did before, slide it down and punch. Okay, so there's our top tab. We're going to trim that section off, and that's going to go right here. So I'm going to grab my paper trimmer really quick just so you can see what it's going to look like. Put this in the paper trimmer. Try not to cut myself. Again, approximately 3/8 of an inch, and trim that off. Okay, and then we'll round our corner, and that's going to go in here. It's kind of hard to see because of that back there, but that's going to line up just like that. And you're going to leave a little bit border, and I'll go ahead and round my corner, and that's going to go there. Then again, your measurement for this piece will be whatever border puncher you used by 8. If you use the apron lace like I did, your measurement will be 2 by 8. Okay, so now I like to go ahead and lay my papers out of how I think I want them to go in my book. I punch this first tab. I'm going to flip it over. Now the one that goes here needs to be 5 by 8. So I'm going to grab one of my 5 by 8 pieces. Which I think I will use this one right here. Okay, and again, I need a tab here, but since my page opens this way, oh, maybe I do want this one. Yeah, maybe I don't want this one. Oops. I want red. Yes, I want the red. What I want to do is, because it's on the opposite side, I'm going to need to flip my paper when I go to punch. Again, my design paper measurements are going to be 2 7/8, but I want this side to show, so I'm going to need to put this edge, I need to punch it at the opposite side. So I'm going to put it at 2 7/8, slide it down, and punch, and then I'm going to trim that off, and then when I put that down, this side will be this way. Now if you did it wrong, then this will be on your, you'll have the other side showing it. You'll have to, that's the only thing you need to think about this. When you're doing the back side of your paper, you need to flip your paper over to do your punching. So don't hurry, you need to think about it before you think about how it's going to look on your page before you put it in the punch board to punch it out. So again, I'm going to grab my paper trimmer, and I'm going to go ahead and trim this little section off. Just like that. And that's going to go right here. And again, I'll round my corner here to match. Okay, so now my next page is one of my 5.5 by 8s. So again, we have 4 by 8, 5 by 8, 5.5 by 8. So I'm going to grab one of my 5.5 by 8s. And I think I will use this one. And again, because this is facing the right way, I don't need to flip my paper over. Again, my measurement's going to be 2 7/8. Slide it down, punch, and trim off the long edge. So this one's going to go right here. So then we're going to flip it over, and we're going to need another 5.5 by 8, which I'm going to use this blue. And we're going to do the same thing. Now again, this is the back side, so I want it to be here. I need to think about this. I want my tab to be facing this way, so I'm going to flip my paper over, and again, line my edge at 2 7/8, slide it down, and then when I put it on here, it will match. Okay, again, you need to stop, think about it. Don't get punch happy. It's real easy to do. And again, we're going to stick that in that little trimmer and trim that edge off. There we go. Okay. So there we go. There's our first page. So again, the measurement for your punching is 2 7/8 for your top, and it's going to be the same for the bottom tab, 2 7/8. Now, the punch measurement for your center tab is going to be a little bit different. So for that one, we're going to do, again, we're going to start out with a 4-inch page. What did I? My middle tab. That's going to look like that, so I need to figure out what I want to put on here. Need a 4-inch piece. I think I need to do the blue. So we're going to stick the blue in there. And this is a middle tab, so the middle tab measurement on your punch board is going to be 2 5/8. So again, we're going to put our paper in there at the 2 5/8 mark, punch, and because we're doing a center tab, we take it out, flip it over, and put this edge at 2 5/8. So that's going to go right there, and we're going to cut off our 2 strips on the side. And again, I'll have all the measurements listed for you. Okay. So again, that's our center tab. Super cute, huh? Now, it's not going to be perfect, but it's okay. It's a handmade item. This is as close as I could get to the measurements to match it on there. To leave that little border around. So again, we're going to take on this side here is going to be one of our 5-inch pieces. Which, what did I use? I did blue there. I'm going to use the green. Okay, so I'm going to put those two right there. Again, this is a 5-inch by 8, and this is 5.5 by 8, and we're doing a center tab. So the good thing about a center tab, you don't have to remember to flip your paper over. You just put it in there at the 2 5/8 and punch, flip it over, put this edge at 2 5/8, punch, trim off your corners. I'm going to go ahead and do this one while I've got it ready. Again, 2 5/8, flip it over, 2 5/8. Okay. Now we're going to make a bottom tab. Oh, we need one more for here. Let's see. We'll do the stripes. So 2 5/8. Again, this is a 5.5-inch piece. For that. Okay. Now we're going to do the bottom one. It's the same measurement exactly as the top tab, which is 2 7/8. So the piece that goes here is going to be my 4-inch piece. So I'm going to do this one here. Now again, I want this, my tab, to be on the bottom, and I want this paper to be on top. So what I need to do then is I need to flip it over, just like we did before. I want it to go here. So if I don't have, you know, I need to flip it over just so I can put my edge at the 2 7/8 mark. So punch it, flip it over. Oops, not flip it over. Geez, dumb girl. Oopsie. And slide it down. My little brain's fried here. Punch. And we will trim that off, and that will match right there. Okay? So go ahead and get your papers trimmed to, again, you need 6 that are 4 by 8, 6 that are 5 by 8, and 12 that are 5.5 by 8. So go ahead and get your papers cut and punched. And then if you want to ink your edges, go ahead and ink your edges as well. And again, your measurement for your pocket, if you use the same punch as me, will be 2 inches by 8 inches. Otherwise, you'll have to get your ruler out and just measure. But it will be 8 inches this way. We're just not sure what the width is because I'm not sure what punch everybody's using. Okay, so go ahead and get those done. And if you want, you can go ahead and glue them to your pages. However, do not glue the paper that goes on the back, because we don't want to put that on until we attach our pages to our book. So go ahead and get your papers picked out, cut, punched, and then we'll come back for part 3. There you have it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you for part 3. Thanks.